Well, I've recently been asked to service the Mossel Bay constituency by the ANC. You know, the different political parties send their members of parliament to look after a certain constituency. So I'm quite excited about the fact that from now, 2020, until 2024, I'm responsible for the Mossel Bay constituency. So this, in a way, marks the first year of work in the constituency. Previously, I worked in the Hessepo constituency, but from now until the next elections in 2024, this is the community that I will service. You may or may not know that I have parents who live in Great Black River. I personally went to school in George, so the area is quite familiar to me. So what I was busy with yesterday was school visits, looking at school readiness and trying to pick up any particular challenges. But in essence, it's about me beginning to get myself familiar with all aspects of life in the broader Mossel Bay community. Issues around the economy, local economic development, education and skills, looking at issues such as tourism, looking at the key sectors of the economy such as agriculture, and also where the national government is invested in Mossel Bay. We know we have a huge institution like Petro SA which faces its own challenges. We have the port, we have the whole issue about the natural gas fine and how that's going to impact. So as a member of parliament, it's important for me to try and develop an understanding of all of those issues and see how can I knock on the door of national government at the one hand and also the provincial government. And I think what's important here is, as much as we have an ANC-led national government, as much as we have a DA-led provincial government, it's important for me to build that relationship with all spheres of government. I am, for instance, having a meeting later this morning with the mayor, Mr. Levendal. Last year we were here on a parliamentary visit and there were a number of issues that came up where the municipality needs the help of national government, for instance with the Safcol MTO land in the Reiterbos area, the transfer of that land and so on. So what's important about this work is actually working with all spheres of government and also with the community, civil society, the business community and so on. So in a sense this is the beginning of my constituency work in the broader Mossel Bay area, and yesterday, as I indicated to you, was the school visit. So I can talk to you about what my perspectives are about what I saw in the schools that I did visit. But essentially, to answer your question, this is the beginning of my constituency work in the Mossel Bay community.
Okay, and then regarding yesterday, I would like to know what was your overall perception of the schools that you visited?
Yesterday we visited Imekaya Primary, we visited Hillcrest and also Terence Ndanda Primary School. Today I will be going to Ingwe High School and then tomorrow to Grootbrak Secundaire. But my impression so far is that a lot of work has been done by the management of the schools together with the governing body to prepare for the first day. You're obviously always going to have teething problems, but I think I was clear that the schools were ready to receive learners and begin to get the academic year going. But there are clearly some challenges that the schools are facing. I think one of the key issues is the issue of safety at schools. Some of the schools were concerned that with the fencing and the access control issue, I think we're all aware of the tragedy which happened at Hillcrest last year, and I think there's a huge amount of work that needs to be done both at a safety level but also working with the leadership of the students in the schools to try and motivate learners to build positive role models. And I think the other issue is infrastructure needs. Imekaya clearly needs some additional classrooms, and at Terence Mdanda, one of the projects that I think is going to be absolutely critical, they've got the land on the school available for a sports facility such as an artificial turf, and also the potential to build netball, basketball courts, but there has been no development of the sports facilities, and that again impacts on the issue of youth vulnerability and issues of crime, because if there's nothing for the young students to do, clearly they look at other options, whether that's substance abuse or gang activity and so on. So I'm very clear that we're going to work closely with TM London, for instance, on the sports facility at the school, working with whether it's the National Lotto, the National Provincial Department of Sport and Recreation, as well as the municipality, and that's also one of the issues that I'll be raising with the mayor, what role they can play in terms of the sports infrastructure at that particular school, because it will also actually serve the community. So there are issues that I have then started raising with the Provincial Education Department, the District Director, the infrastructure issues I picked up where we need additional classrooms, the issue of access control and the issue of the fencing. I also have begun to try and get a sense of to what extent the connectivity, the Wi-Fi connectivity at all these schools are working. And one thing which is clear is that it's very uneven. The Wi-Fi appears to be working in the administration buildings, but not in the broader classroom. So when you're wanting to produce smart boards and so on, the connectivity across the schools in every classroom is not what it should be, and I think that's an issue. I think at Hillcrest there does appear to be also a space issue where there's a lot of pressure always at high schools for grade 8, and I think we need to have an assessment later today about the grade 8 learners in particular, and also grade 1 learners that haven't been placed, because I do have a sense that there are some learners in the Mossel Bay area that have still not been placed. I cannot give you a figure at the moment, but that is something that I would be following up on. So I think that for me it's absolutely critical that we work closely with our schools, but I'm also interested to get a sense of the state of further and higher education, because after our learners finish at school, there's options for them, such as the community colleges, adult education, the further education and training colleges, what we now call TVET, Southern Cape colleges here, and obviously students here have access to Nelson Mandela Bay or the universities in Cape Town, Stellenbosch, UWC, UCT, and CPUT. The Youth League of the ANC have also approached me about focusing on post-matric opportunities for learners, so the whole issue of working towards a career exhibition and talking to young people who've matriculated last year but have not yet finalized their plans for studying further, looking at the issue of learnerships, what are those possibilities, and so on. I would also like to, over the next while, engage with the business community. I'm not sure whether businesses here have accessed the Youth Employment Incentive Scheme, where if young people are employed by businesses, they actually get a tax rebate from SARS. It would appear to me that some businesses are not aware of that, and that could actually assist in businesses seeing the value of bringing more young people into their companies because of the rebate. So there's a lot of work to be done on the issue of youth unemployment, which is a problem all over the country, not just in Mossel Bay. But my sense was that the schools were ready, but issues of safety, of infrastructure, and getting a sense of how many learners are not yet placed is still work that has to be done. So today, as I said, we'll be going to Indwe, tomorrow to Krookbrak. I would like to eventually get to every school, but there's more than 20 schools. I need to go to Punt, I need to go to more of the primary schools. I want to get a sense of what's happening in Herbertstad and Brandfach. But you cannot do everything in just a few days. But my sense would be that we have very focused and dedicated leadership at our schools, and I really look forward to building a working relationship with them over the next 4 years.